Hey guys, how you going? It's just, it's a little bit warm. It's better. This tree's in my way. All right, sips. Okay, good. Hi, it's Justine. I hope you are well. It is a beautiful sunshiny day. And you have to forgive the glare. This is a very DIY job. I, first of all, just want to actually genuinely check in. It has been such a crazy internal year or so of journeying on the inside galaxy. And it's kind of, I'm feeling about time to come out of that and step back into this world. Now, I don't even know where to start. There's so much to share. I basically am trying to answer a bunch of questions now and just speak my truth instead of answering 700 million individual messages. And basically the best way I can explain it is a lot of people were asking me if I was overseas last year. Did I go away? And the answer to that is energetically yes. I completely disappeared. And yeah, I was in Melbourne the entire time, but going through intensely deep process. And I'm now ready to share. I actually began a website called The Positivity Project back in 2012 with a bunch of friends. I had something come through me one night, intense, body shaking, full download, and just wrote down all this stuff that I wanted to share or that wanted to be shared through me. And I didn't sleep for 3 or 4 nights, and I just taught myself how to build a website. Like, that's not something I'd ever done before. It just came through. It was full power, and I was like, whoa, what was that? And I held this vision for a long time, and then started to get friends involved. We had intention and setting and meetings every week, and I was teaching 5 or 6 really good girlfriends of how to become bloggers, how to use online content, how to share their love and story with the world. And it kind of became more of like a sister circle of everyone holding space for each other and sharing what we'd all learned in our individual journeys. And then holding a meditation and putting intention on these 2 love hearts for the Positivity Project each week, knowing that this was a really important message for the world. And it's interesting because it actually started from me after being with one of my ex-partners. I found him to be quite a sad person, and I wanted to do things to kind of help him out of a depression, so to speak. So I started looking up benefits of things he could eat to feel better, like cacao, and just kind of going into wellness and mindfulness kind of for someone else. That's how it started, or what I perceived for it to be was for someone else. And so I got all this content together and sent it to this person once we'd parted ways, just to be like, I love you, I wish you well, here's some things that I think will help. And once I gave off that information and love, I realized, well, I should look after myself as well, and I wouldn't be having this experience in my human life unless I had a shitload to learn from that as well. And so began the really intense self journey. So we're talking like 2011 onwards, so 5-6 years. And as a lot of you I know would understand, when you're in such deep process of learning about yourself and the world around you and this incarnation and all the different levels, I personally couldn't share or didn't feel the need to share. I didn't want to, you know, lots of people would know I was an intense blogger. I would blog about absolutely everything when it came to career and comedy and radio, and just look at this, doing this on the weekend, doing this, hashtag this, whatever. And then it kind of just cut off. And the reason it cut off was because I had been so external for my whole life and giving and in the public eye and doing things externally. I really needed to look after my insides. And so over the 5-6 years of workshops and personal development and meditation and yoga and crying and purging and ceremony and all the things you do on the journey to awakening the self, I didn't feel the need to share it. I didn't want to rock up with my video camera on a weekend where I'm going to be dropping in really deeply to my heart space. I didn't want to be thinking about externally sharing that journey at that moment. So I've kept diaries and articles for 5-6 years, and I've actually interviewed people for 5 or 6 years, so I have a lot of video content which I'm still editing to share. And basically the Positivity Project started out as this way for me to be like, hey mate, these are my ways to help you, became ways to help myself. Then it evolved into this group of beautiful girls all sharing and teaching each other our own journeys of evolving and what has helped us individually, and then we shared. And then it became about, okay, I actually don't want to put this website up. I've got all these posts that were up in 2012, which you'll see, they're still sitting there, which are hilarious. And I'm glad I didn't put them out publicly then, because they would have come from a place of spiritual ego or look what I'm doing, and maybe a bit preachy. And if someone wasn't on their journey, you're trying to like shove it down their throat. Whereas now I understand it's my journey, it's up to me to heal myself. And all I can do is just be me and kind of lead by example and shine, and people can see my own transformation and see what I've been up to and what I've been through. And if they want to take any of that for themselves in their own healing journey or their growth, awesome, take that, write that name down, or go and research more of this, that and the other. And now I'm about sharing the journey, sharing my journey, sharing the beautiful people I've met over the 6 years, sharing the people that have helped me through intense times over the 6 years. I want to give you guys access to those people if you need it. Maybe you don't, maybe it's just a cool story to follow, I don't know. I'm just at the point where I really, really want to share, and that's my entire understanding of why I'm on planet Earth, is to be love and to share love and to explain that we are all love, we come from love, we return to love. And not in a yay, that's so cute, everything's positive, love and rainbows way, not at all, in a really dirty and dark and deep. There are so many shadows of ourselves we have to face, and we are just as dark as we are light, and there is so much shit we have to churn through to heal the human soul. And how beautiful that journey is. And unless we feel those deep, 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 dark, horrible demons in our head and we can go through that, we can't experience those moments of elated joy and amazing, juicy goodness. So I know this might sound like I'm going in circles, but I'm trying to reiterate outwardly how important it is for me to share. And it's gone through journeys. And then it was going to be a website explaining XYZ to try and save the planet, and general awakening, and how the whole world's connected, and the government and the banks and what all these mean, and blah blah blah. And then again I'm like, no, go inside, go inside. And so I haven't been ready to put this out, because it's a website, it's events. We've done a bunch of events like I Love My Vagina If You Don't Come, which was a women's healing weekend, which was just beautiful, and thank you to everybody who came and took part in that. It was, you know, we've got events, we've got websites, I've got a TV channel, TPP TV, which has over 5 different outputs on it, 5 different channels. There's one called The Comfort Zone, where I take well-known people outside their comfort zone. It's something they maybe not be so good at, and we interview them just to show that everybody is human on one level, and behind the ego, behind the facade, behind maybe the one part of persona that's put outwardly in public, there's more. So that's called Comfort Zone, and I have videos speaking to Miss Chu, the amazing entrepreneur from Vietnam, who set up the beautiful restaurant chains all around Australia and London. Speaking to some comedians, some well-known people. That's been filmed over 5 years, so I can't wait to share that with you. There's WTF, or what the fuck, and that's just kind of explaining all the alternate healings, and maybe things that you have no idea what they are or you've never heard of them before. We're going to give definitions. Again, they've been filmed over 5 years, so you're going to see, I guess, me with all different lengths of hair. That's the best way to explain time. And there's so many more. There's events that we've covered that are in beautiful heart space events. We've gone and spoken to people about what they're doing in their communities. We've just got so much content, and it's taken so long because A, it's a labor of love, B, there's no funding, and C, you know, I've lived life in between all of this, and I'm just really excited to share because I've had time to digest and calm down. Because if I had put out all that I want to put out and share in the time of my journey and my understanding, I don't think it would have come from a grounded place. I think it would have come from an airy-fairy, woohoo, look at me, I'm in my crown chakra, learning about the rest of the world outside this physical body, and nothing would have come across remotely sane. And I guess the best part about it is understanding that I had to lose my mind to find my heart, and it was the biggest journey ever from going into here and now learning to have the balance and just tapping into this guy when I need him, but having all my answers from here. And it's never over. It's constant work, and I constantly go deeper. And when I think I've done something of remote healing on myself, I go into ancestral lineage, and then it goes into my mother's side of the family and all the stuff that comes from that. And then it goes into my father's side of the family, and it goes into that, and it gets deeper and it gets darker, and it's constant unraveling, because we're infinite beings, because we have no end, because we have no beginning, because we're just this figure of 8 on the side, this infinite upright. That's all we are, which is everything and nothing, and it's beautiful. And I could talk about this for hours, because it is constantly intriguing to me. It is constantly evoking new feelings and wanting to share them. And I've had a lot of people ask me this year, why didn't you do Comedy Festival? Oh, you didn't do it last year. What are you doing? Why are you doing that? I'm looking after my soul. I'm not someone who will just talk for the sake of talking to be heard, for my ego to be constantly seen. I will do a show if and when it is called for, if and when there's a message that needs to be shared, if and when I feel it intuitively that it needs to come out. I think being around a lot of performers for so many years and having the best time ever, and touring the country and being put up in 5-star hotels and being treated like a rock star and having a lot of fun, getting paid for doing what I love full time. Yes, it was amazing, but yes, there was still something missing, and it's not external. I knew it was within myself, and the more I realized I wasn't 100% happy, I'm not talking depressed, but not 100% happy, I knew I had to go in further into myself to find out what was missing, because it wasn't in the external world. My external world was bloody beautiful. The money was great, the job was fantastic, the people were hilarious, the ego was stroked, it was amazing. But the heart was hurting. And after my last comedy tour on Disco Fanny, I found myself standing outside Flowering one night, and I just broke down and cried. And I had a realization that I didn't need to do this anymore, that I wasn't looking externally for validation of who I am and what I stand for. And what changed in my 5-year journey of healing was that I think I used to be on show for my own healing journey. And it was beautiful to have an audience to hold that space for me to let it out. Everyone knows comedy's therapy. We're all a little bit fucked up. And I slowly realized, and things changed when I became aware of my own energy field, when I became aware of how to hold my space. Where I used to walk out on stage, I guess, and give heaps, I would also take back. So energetically, to explain it, I would be giving like, whoa! But then all the crowd would be giving back like, whoa! And I'd be like, yeah, and breathing in that energy. And if you do it visually, it's like this energy ball that's this big, and then after show your energy ball's this big, because you've just taken all the energy from the claps and the applause. And that's not bad, there's no good or bad, but it's being fulfilled from an external energy source. And a lot of comedians, or not even just comedians, performers in general, musicians, anyone, a performer, you would find that they're happy when they're doing what they love and they're on stage and they're receiving that energy from elsewhere. But then they go off stage, or they're not center of attention, and they are depleted and they're depressed and they're in bed and they're sick, because they're not getting their energy source from anyone else. They've got to figure out how to get it for themselves. And by my 3rd comedy festival, I knew how to do this myself. I could hold my own energy bubble. I would breathe, I would meditate, I would step into a character before I went on stage, put the persona on stage, do the things, and then get off stage and be, cool, that's gone, I'm back, I'm Justine. But I didn't get that for the first couple of years. I started to become my alter ego. We all have different parts of self. We have our quiet self that likes to be at home. We have the introvert. We have the extrovert who wants the attention at the dinner parties. We have the sexual deviant who just wants to just sit on everything that comes across, or lick it. I don't even know. We have all these parts of self. And I was lucky enough, through healing and through self-awareness and being an artist, I could put these into different parts. So I've got J-Mac, who's this crazy party girl, and that's who everyone got to know in the external world. And only a lot of my close friends and family know how quiet I am and how introverted and isolated as a person I am, and like to be in my own world and not speak at all. All the external world sees is the one that's on show, the one on stage, the one on social media, the one with the microphone. And then that's what people start to see of you and only know you as. And where this got weird was with my intuitiveness and my empathness and my feeling was starting to get texts from people being like, hey J-Mac, do you want to come to this party? And I would realize that people didn't want the full Justine to come to this party, nor did they give a shit. They just wanted J-Mac to come and bring her vibe and bring her energy and kind of feed off that. And again, not in a bad way, because no one is remotely conscious of what they're doing with their energy or what they're feeding off. But it was just, I could feel it. If someone genuinely wanted to catch up with all of me and hear about my heart and my life and myself, or if they wanted to catch up and just suck and feed and make themselves feel better and maybe heal. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, nor is it an egotistical way. It's just when you're aware of energy, you know when it's even, and you know the conversation is someone's giving and it's balanced. And then you also become really aware of when you're at a conversation and you're giving, and then this person just receives, and doesn't give you anything back, whether that be life skills, emotion, empathy. If they don't give it back, then you're just depleted. And I became so aware of this. I didn't really want to be around anybody that wasn't at my frequency, that couldn't share energetically and be aware of conversation and self. So I withdrew, and then went even more internal and more healing went on. And the reason I'm explaining all this is because I wasn't ready to share it on a website until I had done it internally and had time to process it, ground it, and put it out. Now where I'm at, I don't care what people take. If people take what they want, if it helps them, bloody fantastic. I'm going to learn from you in these conversations. We're going to have conversations online and in person at events. You're my teacher, I'm your teacher. We're always constantly learning and growing, and I just really can't wait to share all the things that I've been through, experienced, come to acknowledge within myself. I know a lot of you can tell when we catch up these days how calm I am compared to how I used to be. I don't have the need to constantly be barking. I'm really at peace within myself. I've lost about 10 kilos, and that's not fat, that's energetic weight, that's guilt, that's anger, that's resentment, and that's through clearing, that's through purging, that's through healing. And I admire and love all the artists that are on show in burlesque, in dance, in music, in showing their public journey of healing, and I love that we follow that. But I also think it's really important that people can step outside of their projected persona, or the one that's out in the public, and really look after their own soul and not perish. Because I see it in so many, I guess, people who work in the media or celebrities like Heath Ledger or whatever. They play so many different characters. When they eventually stop and they be still and they don't talk and they go inside themselves and they take time to hang out in the trees and get back to who they are, they don't remember who they are, because they've played so many different roles and so many different personas in their art form. They finally don't have a role to play or a movie to be, and they go, holy shit, I've lost my identity. I don't remember who I am. And when I really started to see stuff with, you know, Robin Williams, Heath Ledger, and years before that, and just friends of mine on show, and how much hurt was also going on and not addressed, and how it was this downward spiral. And you see a lot of performers who drink a lot and take drugs, and they do these things because unless they're getting that energy and being fed from a crowd, they don't know how to look after themselves. And that's not everyone, I'm just saying, I'm talking general masses across the world here. And I think the beautiful thing I found about artists, and this can apply to anyone, I'm just talking about artists in general because that's my experience, is you go through this journey. Like my journey was, who is J-Mac? That's my website, whoisjmac.com, because I didn't know. I'm like, who the hell am I? Who is jmac.com? And then I find out J-Mac's this party girl. Then I get out this other character, Shano, and he loves babes, and he's a bogan, and that's my bogan. And then I've got Jiva, who's my spiritual hippie who goes to Bali. And I got all these characters and personas out of me and got to put them on a stage, which was awesome, because I could witness them outside myself. And I can write about them, and I can give them names and characters. So now it's cool to be observant of myself, and I know who's speaking through me at what time. If I'm checking out a babe's ass, you know, it'll be like, oops, sorry, that's me being Shano, pull yourself into line. Or if I'm like, oh, I don't actually want to go to work because there's no time, I'm in my spiritual jiva. It's just cool to know those parts of yourself. And I think once you've, and there's always more to find, of course, but once you've found most of those parts to yourself and you can identify them, then you're whole. Then you're you. So my journey from Who is J-Mac went through all these characters for years and shows and kept writing and writing and just purging out this stuff in words. That was my way to heal. And then cool. So I went through this journey to find who I was, just to find out that I am who I am. I'm Justine McInerney, but I'm a lot more than I knew at the start. J-Mac's this much. J-Mac is this persona, you know, personality that is this big, it's infinite. I'm you, you're me, I'm the universe, whatever, I'm this tree, great. When you realize how expansive and how massive you are, I can't believe how small I was playing. And it all comes down to self-love, all comes down to self-acceptance. And I had so many people along the way in my healing journey show me unconditional love. People I didn't know, people I don't know, healers, friends, lovers, people just giving love. And the more I learned to receive, the more I opened, the more I breathed it in. We all have blocks, we all have barriers, we all have guards. But the more I let in, the more love I become. And it's still a journey. I could be full in love space for 3 days at a time and have the highest frequency ever and be attracting in all these amazing things and money and great people, and then I'll let myself drop into my lower self and I'll feel myself going into old patterns. If I'm triggered by a certain memory, or my partner might say something and I go, "Arr!" and I get angry for no reason, and then I have to witness myself getting angry, and I'm like, hang on, what actually is that? Anger's a surface emotion. That's not real. I'm going to breathe into my body, see which part of my body that is in, and identify what memory that comes from, and I'm going to pull it out, because it's just a program. This brain, this wiring, this memory, it's a computer. It's a hard drive. It is a hard drive, and the best thing and the coolest thing is, being in our heart, we can reprogram this however we want, and that's awesome. So I'm going to stop talking. That's enough for now. I'm excited to share the Positivity Project with you. There's 5 or 6 years worth of articles of self-revelations, revelations about the world, understanding how everything is connected. There's beautiful workshops and healers I've worked with, I'm going to recommend, and you can get some discounts. There's great companies we've partnered with, so you guys can get discounts on sustainable products. There's also just a fun blog section sharing laugh and dance and music and whatever comes up. And there's going to be events. There's just so many things. I'm just excited to finally be able to put them out and to share and to learn back more things from everybody else as well, and continue this journey of growth on planet Earth. And knowing that my mission and my vision on Earth is to share love. That's it, through media and entertainment and whatever platform we can, one-on-one. Be the love, be the message, be in service. Because we're all here for a reason right now, and I remember why I'm here. I remember why I'm here, and it's amazing. And I thought I had it all sorted at 23, doing my career of my dreams and being on tour and having it all made, and then got knocked around. And it's starting over, and it's beautiful, and it's great, and we don't all know what we're doing at any given time, and that is okay. And I am so okay with not knowing what fully is to come and stepping into the expansiveness that is. Because we can't control it all. We can guide it, we can feel into it, but you know, we're with the universe. It's coming through me, it's flowing through me, I'm the vessel, I'm going to channel that stuff. I'm not going to hold back anymore. I'm happy to share my visions, I'm happy to share my dreams, I'm happy to talk about my crazy astral things that go on, what I see. I used to be scared to share that stuff. Years ago, it was like the Boston bombings happened. A few weeks before, some friends were going to the New York Marathon. I had a dream. I said, please don't go, don't run there, because I saw, you know, runners and shoes and flaming towers and all this stuff and guns and finish line tape and all that. I said, please don't run. And then, yeah, a couple of weeks later, the Boston bombings were announced, and I got all these messages going, how the hell, what the hell? And it's just intuition, and everybody has it, every man and woman has it, and when we're quiet and we listen, we all can tap into that. It's whatever that is. For some people it's hearing, for some people it's seeing light bodies and pulling off chains around necks from past lives, or however the hell you understand it. We all have intuition. We can all see through these physical things. We all can understand energy, we can all feel energy. And when you tap into that, it's beautiful. It scared the shit out of me at the start. It absolutely scared the shit out of me. Holy shit, I can see other things. Holy shit, there's more than just what I thought was here. Oh my God, I'm going mental. And being like a normal conversation, and then all this physical realm would just disappear and I would only see the energy. And then I thought it was mental. And then I couldn't drive for like 3 months because I didn't want to, it wasn't safe. And then that stopped, and then it became the hearing stuff, and I'd walk into a room of 40 people and just have all these things in my head. I was like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. I've got 700 voices in my head. But no, when I could walk away from that room and breathe And then I could go in and tap in. I'm like, that's that guy who's angry about his wife. That's that woman who's worried about her deadline, and actually tap into the feelings as everyone else's. But I was just too open, too empathic, could feel, hear and see everyone, and I didn't know how to hold my field, and I didn't know how to protect myself. And then I just tried to shut it all off because I'd opened pineal gland, third eye, whatever you want to call it. It opened, and then I got shit scared because I saw it all at once. So now it's kind of finding that balance of learning to tap in when you want to, when you need to, and then having free will to be like, no, I'm here today, I'm doing the job, I'm paying the bills, I'm being human. And yeah, free will. I just didn't get that for a little bit. So if this makes sense to you, fantastic. I can't wait to learn from you. If this doesn't make sense to you, fantastic. I'm going to share stuff, and it's going to be an interesting journey for you to just watch like a cartoon. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here on Earth at the same time as me. We're all in this together, and I think it's freaking amazing the rest of the world is also healing themselves and gaining more self-awareness and sharing what they are learning, so we are all learning. And I love the internet. It's one big brain, and I'm just so excited to be here right now on planet Earth. And the Positivity Project launches in whatever the date is, May 7. I think it's in 2 weeks. I don't know, it got hacked. Too much truth. We're fixing it up on the website. And there's lots of stuff for you to read on there, books and websites that we recommend that have helped. There's just so many things. And we have guest writers, and it's an amazing platform to share all your cool stuff too. So I'm just excited that we get to do things together. And thank you for being patient, especially to my close friends. You get me. I'm either all there, let's go out, let's catch up, or I just don't answer my phone. Sorry, that's me. No apologies. But thank you to everyone for being supportive. Finding yourself is not easy. Some people may never do it in this lifetime. You've got to deprogram, you've got to step away from society's conventions, unlearn all that you think that you know, and then relearn from a place of truth. Throwing out my TV 5 years ago was a step. Becoming vegetarian was a step. Consciousness just raises and raises and raises and raises, and I can't wait to share with you all the ways that help me get to this place of peace within myself where I am now. So have a great day, and yeah, I love you, genuinely.